Leah Messer and Cheyenne Floyd return for Teen Mom, the next chapter coming to MTV this September. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for having us.
us.
First of all, let's talk about who's coming back and what we're going to see in this new series.
This season, we are combining Teen Mom OG and Teen Mom 2, and I am probably the most excited for this season because of that. I just think that we have a lot to show, a lot to unpack, and it's going to be good.
When you look back at maybe the very first season and when you first both started recording the show, obviously people who may not be parents yet think like this is something that just deals with one person or two people, but you really need a tribe and you need people to guide you along the way. Talk a little bit about how the journey on the show has helped the both of you out. Leah, you want to go ahead and start with that one?
Yes, I think the journey on the show, I've definitely learned a lot of lessons and I've grown a lot from the very beginning and until now. And then being able to be a good example or be an example to all the viewers and that have watched this entire time. It's hard. I mean, it makes me feel good.
What about for you, Cheyenne?
It's definitely been a journey. I look back at some of my beginning scenes and I'm just like, wow, did I do that? Did I say that? Did I look like that? But it's a fun journey and I feel like it's such a unique experience where we literally have home tapes, hundreds of them that we can look back on. And I do think that it takes a village. It definitely, I rely on my village.
As far as like the kids, what's it like? Do they go back and see the very first episodes and kind of see, that journey? Just since you mentioned, the home tapes and the home videos as well, too, because not everybody gets to have that, that type of recording. What do they have to say? And, what's their reaction to seeing, maybe their early years?
My girls definitely go back to the early years and they even hear about it from their friends. So their friends, everyone's on TikTok. Everyone loves TikTok. So they see their birth and they enjoy it. They're like, oh my gosh, Cheyenne said something about our looks. And they're like, Mom, why'd you bleach your hair like that? So they'll say stuff or why do you look like that? But it's fun. It's fun that they definitely have that to look back on and our family has that.
What about for you, Cheyenne?
Ryder is finally at this age of like, hey, I'm on TV and wants to tell everybody. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, don't lead with that. But she likes to watch. She likes to see anytime I have anything on my phone, she lets it like, hey, Mom, I'm watching it with you. So I have to definitely be careful with what she sees right now and what, what we're putting out because she's paying attention.
She's paying attention. We obviously want to appreciate the past and look back, but also look to the future. I mean, there's a lot to look forward to. And Cheyenne, let's start with you. Bachelorette party, planning the wedding. I mean, there's a lot of, this is kind of like the last minute details. How's everything going?
Yeah. Like you said, it's the last minute details, and I feel like there's still so much to figure out. This past year, I've just had a lot going on, and I honestly thought I would have more time to plan my wedding. And I feel like right now I am freaking out, I'm stressing, and I'm not done. And you just reminded me of like a million things I still have to do.
I didn't mean to stress you out anymore. But as far as planning the wedding, what is that one key ingredient that you're looking for as far as like making it memorable? Is it the DJ? Is it the food? Is it the venue? Is it what's that one thing that you're like, I'm gonna knock it out of the park with this?
Oh my gosh, that's such a hard question because I feel like I've almost become known for these parties and these celebrations. And now this is like the biggest one. And my expectation levels for myself are so high that I'm just like, I hope that people come here and it was like a real experience. But I also want them to walk away and feel and understand Zach and I's story. To me, sometimes it's not about how it looks, but it's about how it makes you feel. And I hope that people come and they really feel our love. I mean, I feel like that's what it's supposed to be about. So I'm just praying and fingers crossed that it goes well.
Yeah, it's definitely going to go well because people want to celebrate, the love that you have for each other, and as long as it's that, and maybe it's a little bit of a good food, everyone's going to be happy.
All right, we're just gonna get everybody a good drink and everybody just breathe.
Oh, exactly. And Leah, we get to see it in the trailer. One of the girls asks about marriage. I'm so happy, with you and Jalen. We've talked a couple of times as far as your relationship progressing. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with the two of you.
I think that me and Jalen are making, we just moved in together. Well, we've been living together, but we decided to get a house together and we're making big decisions together. We're excited about Cheyenne's wedding coming up. And we'll see what the future holds.
That is amazing. Now we talked a little bit about a tribe earlier, and one question that I've gotten a lot of comments on my social media after posting previous videos with interviews with you, Leah. And one thing is women in their 30s and 40s who maybe have found themselves in situations they necessarily didn't know or expect, but rely on Teen Mom as far as like guidance and maybe some of the techniques that you guys have both used. And talk a little about maybe some of the messages you get from women a little older, maybe in their 30s and 40s, who look to you guys for as examples.
I think for me personally, I definitely get a lot of moms that were teenage moms and still navigating, or maybe someone that is in recovery and working through things like that, or just seeking advice, how they've created boundaries in their life, how they've and just growing from the time that you're 17 being on a TV show and all the lessons that I've definitely learned until now. And sometimes I think some moms in their 30s just need support and love and not to feel alone. And I think I love when I know that I love when I get comments like that or feedback like that, because I want to be that support system for moms and anyone else that could possibly be going through the same thing.
Well, what about for you, Cheyenne?
I feel like a lot of my messages are about co-parenting, and that's from all ages. And a lot of them are from older mothers or women who are like, how did you figure it out so young? And I'm in my 50s and I can't do what you're doing. Can you give me advice, or can I bounce off some ideas off of you? And it makes me feel good because it makes me feel like I'm doing something correct. But at the same time, it's a lot of pressure because we don't always get along. And it doesn't always work in my favor. And sometimes I am wrong, and it's really hard to admit it. And it's hard to sometimes watch it back and play out. And I'm sitting there watching it and I'm like, wow, I didn't do that correctly. But it's made me more relatable, and it's made people have an opportunity and a space to ask questions. And I like to be able to share. I like to be able to give advice and to hopefully be correct when I give it. So
yeah, obviously, no one's going to make 100%, right choices all the time. But the messages that I had gotten were women who found themselves either newly single or having a co-parent, later in life, and not necessarily thinking like that was going to happen to them, but look to the both of you and look to everybody else on the cast for how did you deal with it, or maybe some tips, because as far as you navigating at such an early age, you get to see that played out, which a lot of people don't get to see. And it's one of the first times we get to see that on television.
right. I think for me, with co-parenting and navigating, I feel like our biggest thing is we've always said we will just put Ryder first. And sometimes that's easy to say, but not easy to act on, because pride can get in the way, or lack of communication, or your ego or boundaries can be crossed. So we have check-ins, literal, like, let's all sit down and check in and make sure we're on the same page to move forward. Or if we do not agree on something, we make sure to have the argument and hash it out and keep it there and not bring it to the next day. I feel like with co-parenting, it's all about communication and trust, and it's so much work. Oh my gosh, it's so much work, but it can be a beautiful thing. If you get it worked out, it can be a beautiful thing.
And then final thing here, someone who's newly pregnant, who needs a little bit of support and needs to form their tribe. Maybe some suggestions as far as, everyone, we get to see the Team Mom OG and then Team Mom 2, the cast come together and support each other in that special way. But someone who maybe might not have that network, something for them to reach out so they don't feel alone in the journey.
Oh my gosh, Cheyenne, your godparents, it's been 10 years for me, you guys.
Oh my gosh, I guess that's a a newer mom, Ace is one, there, and if you don't have a tribe, there's so many ways to find your tribe now. There's honestly apps that you can go and put your zip code in and find other moms in your area to hang out with. There's so many mom groups on Instagram. I found a couple of my mom friends through social media. So there's ways to find your tribe, and you just have to honestly put yourself out there sometimes, make yourself a little bit uncomfortable, but you can definitely do it.
You can definitely do it. Leah, Cheyenne, thank you so much for your time today. Teen Mom, the next chapter coming to MTV this September, and I look forward to seeing both of your journeys. Can't wait to chat the next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.